Welcome everyone to Wizards Outlook. We're joined by Cardo Dudley Jr. We got Raymond Lyons here with us. And look, for the Washington Wizards, it's their third consecutive loss. The New Orleans Pelicans came into Capital One tonight. They won 132 to 112. And we saw them do it much like another young team did just a couple nights ago on the defensive end. They turned Washington over. They got out and ran. And, who knew? You play good defense. It leads to good things. Cardo, we'll start with you and then Ray. Your thoughts on Washington's third consecutive loss?
The Pelicans just play smarter, and play harder all around. CJ McCollum, he controlled the game. He was pretty much flawless. 34 points, game high, 5 rebounds, only turned the ball over twice, 12 of 21, 4 from 8. He used his scoring to dictate everything else, how they operated, how they executed with as far as the Pelicans offensively. And everybody else just followed his lead. Najee Marshall got into it. Local product out of Eleanor Roosevelt, played the DC Premier, 18 points, 4 assists. And it wasn't just his offense. When I'm still talking about Marshall, it wasn't just his offense. His defense was on point too. I know he spent a lot of time on Kuz and whatnot, but he spent time on everybody. He was just all over the place, man. And that's what he is. That's his role on this team, being an irritant, being a kind of another defensive stopper with Herbert Jones and Trey Murphy and Alvarado, the young guys getting after it. Those wings are deadly, man, especially defensively. They gave the Wizards a lot of problems. They frustrated Kuz. He picked up a lot of silly fouls, and that's why he fouled out. And then even before that, he spent a big chunk of time on the bench because he was in foul trouble, and he had it going. That's the thing about the Wizards, man. This is a perfect example why you have to play defense. The Wizards jumped on them, what was it, 10 nothing to start the game? They jumped on the 10 nothing to start the game. Big lead. Looked like they was clicking on all cylinders. Kuz was hitting everything. Porzingis was hitting everything. Then CJ started pushing the pace, and that's when everything changed. Attacking their transition defense. And they got a few easy baskets, got to the free throw lines, and then the floodgates open. And CJ started going to work, and then they started feeding him Jonas Valanciunas inside. And we all know he has a history of destroying the Wizards. They don't have nobody big enough, and I hate to say it, with a dog enough mentality to bang with him. And he just wears them out. And that's why he had a monster game, 27 points and 12 rebounds. So you combined with CJ was doing, what Valanciunas was doing, what Marshall was doing in a row, and then the bench production, man. They had 2 players in double figures off the bench, Alvarado and Brown. Recipe for disaster for the Wizards, man, especially for a team that, as we all know, defense is an option for them. They take a lot of time deciding if they want to even show up on that end. And transition defense, they were getting beat off misses and makes, and that's just disgusting, man. That's just a lack of effort, especially with professional players. But here's the thing: Wizards turned the ball over 20 times. The Pelicans scored damn near 40 points off that, and the Pelicans scored 74 points in the paint, and they had 27 points to 8 over the Wizards in fast break points. That's just hustle, effort, and defensive. Like, just effort, just know-how, just focus. And as we know, the Wizards it's been missing all season on that, so it's not nothing to get all riled up about. They ran into a team that's surging, even without Zion, without Brandon Ingram. They ran into a team that's going to be a problem, when it comes playoff time. So we saw how far away the Wizards are from that. And they obviously have a lot of work to do. But from what we saw tonight, it don't seem like they're any closer to trying to remedy that and get back. Just playing quality basketball on both ends and all phases of the game, man. It just seems like some guys are hunting for stats, and other guys just trying to prove that they belong in the league. It's just a bad mix, man, with a lot of issues within the team, man. And you see it, you just see a culmination of that night after night, and tonight was no different.
Your take, Ray?
Yeah, man, it's no need even getting all philosophical with it. It's just back to business as usual for the Wizards. They gave us some fool's gold with the 5-game win streak, but these last few games looks like they're working on another 10-game losing streak. It's the same things that have been plaguing them all season. Cardell brought up the defensive woes, and on offense, they're just not being intentional. They're not being disciplined. They're shooting bad shots, and they're not cohesive, and they're not working as a unit. It's like they're not controlling anything that happens. They just are counting on making shots sometimes, and then when they don't, things go to hell very quickly. We saw it. Like Cardell pointed out, they started quick, and the Pelicans just walked them down in a matter of minutes, and just had their foot on their neck ever since. So yeah, man, this team got a lot of soul searching to do. It's no resistance on defense, and they're not putting pressure on them on offense. So that's how you lose by 20 points. It was a point where I looked up and they was down 25 like instantly. The Pelicans started the fourth quarter on a 15-0 run. Like that's like just don't you might as well not even show up. So yeah, it is what it is, man. It just looks like it's a march to the lottery at this point.
All right, well, like you guys said, there's no need to waste time. We'll get the player of the game.
CJ
McCollum.
All right, I felt that was easy. X Factor tonight.
Valanciunas. Looking like White Shaq down there.
He definitely loves seeing Washington. That list just grows. I feel like that list is growing longer this year. Let me see some of these comments. Michael Kersey said, I can't wait. Followed with the very petty. They had a win streak, then just folded to lose more. So the bench unit is doo-doo right now. Look, man, this is the second straight night, not consecutive night, but second straight game where the team was just like, we can get to the basket whenever we feel like it. I mean, everyone was getting 2 feet in the paint. And, I don't know if you guys noticed, outside of CJ McCollum and JV, that's a very young team. They're not getting tired. You think those kids are going to get tired of getting layups and dunks? Nah, they're not. I think it was in the third quarter, Washington goes on a 9-0 run. Cool. And then you see, those lapses, right? You talk about all the time. They're on a 9-0 run, and then immediately the Pelicans are responding with an 18-5 run.
Look, man. It's not just it's a league. It's a league-wide issue. You got to do something about the defense. But then again, the Wizards just on another level of just trash defense. And I'm not even just trying to clown or whatnot. I saw the Pelicans get stops when they needed to. Consistent. They were consistently putting ball up, digging down, stripping guys, making guys see 2 or 3 dudes when they try to turn the corner. That's how Kuz shot out. He picked 3 guys up off the charger. You know what I mean? So I see they did it. Even though they gave them 112, but they got stops when they needed to. Why can't the Wizards do that? CJ, when he was in Portland, we was looking at, we seen his food. That's all what it is. He got put against strips and getting stops, so he's improved in that area. Because the rest of the team has. It's just a one-two thing, man. It's one to focus on the details on that end, man. And then helping yourself. One other big difference that Raymond brought up was the shot selection. The Pelicans, they took shots that each guy, when they took that shot, you felt confident they can make that shot. The Wizards, you be like, why? I think Ray, I pointed out, Kuz took a 3 at the top, and I swear the Pelicans went on like a 10-0 run. Mm-hmm. They led into like a 3 on the next possession. They hit another 3 like on that corner, the opposite corner. and then somebody got fouled, and they went 1 to 2 from the free throw line. And then that's when the lead just kind of really got out of reach. Just off that bad shot selection. Bad shot selection is basically, it's like a turnover time first. So they had so many issues. It's just hard to focus on one, man. But I'm like, at least help yourself and lock up. Like, get low, get stopped. That can help stop the bleeding. So when you do take those bad shots, which certain guys are going to continue to do because it's hard for reason to think they won't, you can stop the bleeding, so to speak. So, but like I said, these guys will be professionals. You think they will see that and correct it, but obviously they haven't.
Yeah, and you know, Ray and I have been talking about the shot selection thing all year on Playback. I literally, whether I'm in the arena or at home, I spend majority of the time just going, why? When they're off, it's literally just out loud. I catch myself like, Wilson, you have to be quiet. You're in the arena. You can't say that out loud. Just be like, why? I don't understand sometimes. And like you said, we saw back-to-back games, especially against younger teams. You're already turning the ball over. Those shots they turn into kill shots. Those bad shots just makes it that much worse. We saw it turn into lobs and dunks for a little bit tonight. And again, what I can't wrap my mind around is, don't tell me defense doesn't matter when you play long enough to get back in the game and then just magically stop. And, like, you should be able to feel and see the difference. But again, it is what it is. Third consecutive loss. They got a Chicago team who's trying to get themselves right and have gotten a little bit right as of late, coming in the building on Wednesday. And they got another big center down there. You know, you dealt with JV tonight. Rucci's a big dude, too. So, you know.
One last thing. Monte Morris had 13 points, 9 assists, on 6 of 8 shooting. If I ain't seen it just now, you would have never known none of that. Like, this game, you didn't feel any of that. And that's a hell of a production from your star point guard. That's not your number one option.
But again, it goes back to some of the thing where it feels like we talked about Monte playing better as of late. Monte kind of just, as of late, has stayed within himself. If other people do the same, it'll go a longer way. Again, piggyback on that shot selection thing. But like you said, that stinks. That's a good night for you, starting point guard. That's a really clean night. All these turnovers, and you can't point to your starting point guard. That's tough. Which means some people shouldn't be, doing a little too much with the ball. But again, they got Chicago coming in. We told you guys, a couple months ago, that the last 2 months could do to this season. And, this month could end it, depending on how things go. But right now, it's a 3-game losing streak. You got Chicago coming in. You got the Knicks on Friday. We'll see how things go. But for Cardell, Ray, and myself, y'all have a great evening. Thanks for tuning in to Wizards Outlook.